Hey, what's going on, guys? sweetteajordan here. Yeah, obviously, you're about to watch the video of the trap, but before this begins, a little announcement to make. Chess Meal has its own Twitch now, so here it is on the page. We're just getting everything set up still. So, link will be in the description. Make sure you follow to stay up to date. Should have our first stream pretty soon. It's gonna be me on the first stream, most likely, or maybe somebody else. We haven't really decided yet, but should be pretty big, so make sure you stick around. Keep you updated for when the first stream will be, and I will talk to you guys soon. What's going on, guys? You're here, sweetteajordan. Welcome back to this episode of Trap Tuesday. Last time I was here, we did the Cambridge Springs, and now we're going to move on to the Lasker Trap. Before we get on any further, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Over 100 subscribers, that's pretty cool. Recorded a bunch of these in bulk, so there should be one every Tuesday for the next couple weeks until we get through the list. We still got a lot of the list to go. We're only on trap 4 today out of 6. 4 out of 10. We still have 6 to go. So today we're going to cover the Lasker Trap, as I said. It's a Queen's Gambit counter trap, counter gambit. Involves a bishop sacrifice, quote-unquote sacrifice, and a promotion to a knight, which is pretty nifty. I like to play it in the Queen's Gambit, and I didn't really know about this one. I don't know why, I just didn't really study a lot of Queen's Gambit traps. I just kind of played into it and see what happened and learned from there. But really, I will give this one a try because it's pretty fancy. Chair's a bit squeaky. And let's get into it. So obviously it starts off d4, d5, c4 for the Queen's Gambit, then e5 instead of taking. So in this version, obviously, white takes e5, black pushes, white goes e3, and black brings out bishop to b4 for a check. This is where the quote-unquote bishop sacrifice I mentioned came, because white goes bishop d2 in this scenario. Ooh, throat was a little. Then black takes the pawn. White takes the bishop, obviously, in this situation, because you just probably should. It's probably best. And instead of queen trading like people might think would be here, black takes f2 for a check, because the king can't take the pawn because he loses his queen for free. So king has to go e2 to counter. Obviously, black goes pawn captures knight g1 and turns to a knight for a check. So white can't take the knight with the rook because if he did, bishop would come down and he'd lose his queen. So king has to go back to e1, because if he goes to obviously e3, he just loses his queen again. Forces go back to e1, queen comes down, check, and then white has a few options, and by a few I mean not really at all. If white pushes pawn to block, queen goes e4 check, king has to move somewhere, and he loses his rook. So the only thing white can do in this situation is go to d2. The way this works is also because you're kind of setting up for a castle check, which obviously, if you can tell, is the queen side from the position. So obviously knight c6. When I first watched this, I didn't realize the bishop was being attacked when I was first looking at it, because I'm an idiot. And looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Bishop's forced to back up to c3, or else you just lose your bishop for free, especially if he takes and then you take back on b4. White's not really in that great of a position anyways. So yeah, bishop comes down to c3, then black takes their white bishop and moves it to c4, threatening the queen. Basically, the trap's complete by this point. White goes bishop e2, and then you just castle queen side with black, and you got check, and you win the queen and the bishop in this situation, because king goes here, or I guess just depending on it, you know what I mean. I like this trap. It's pretty straightforward. I just like it, yeah. Few things I'm kind of concerned about. I feel like a lot of it really just straight up relies on white not knowing the trap at all. Let me go back to it. This situation you could always take, which is an option. Kind of cancels the trap there. But obviously I'm not an expert on it. I'm just here to tell you about the basics of it. Quick run through again, that way people can see. D4, D5, C4, E5, captures E5, pawn push D4, pawn E3, bishop, black bishop to B4. It's a quick run through of it. Bishop blocks D2, pawn captures E3, bishop captures bishop B4, pawn captures F2 check, king E2, pawn captures knight G1 check, king E1, followed by queen H4, king D2, knight C6, bishop C3, black bishop for black obviously to G4, bishop E2, castle queenside check, and you win the queen. Yeah, not a whole bunch you really need to explain about it. It's pretty simple if you can see it as it is. Yeah, so next trap will be the Rubinstein trap. I actually like this trap a lot more than the Laskers. Obviously it's a different opening and all that stuff, but just looking at the two in general, this one on my list so far is going to be my favorite. The next one I'm going to do, but I do like this Lasker. It's probably my favorite until I saw the next one. You know, I love the Queen's Gambit. Well, I don't love it. I actually don't like it, but I love playing into it. You know, it's players have a weird amount of over aggression when they play the Queen's Gambit and you take into it just because they think they have you set. And I haven't tried this one in a real game. If I get the opportunity, I'll play it. Hopefully it'll work for me and I'll win. So yeah, that's it. If you guys liked the video, even my incoherent rambling, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks again for Chess Meal for having me back on. Make sure you subscribe to them on YouTube, as I said. And I'll talk to you guys later.